Welcome to Irons United, and we're doing the preview for the Spurs game this coming Saturday, an early kickoff. Luke, what are your thoughts for our forthcoming win at the new Spurs stadium?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've been giving it all that to the Spurs workmates and all the rest of it. So I haven't been at all holding back on my thoughts for this game. For me, this is the one thing to look forward to because since I think a few games back, I basically gave up on the season. I thought, well, the players on their holiday, this whole race for seventh just hasn't gone to plan for quite a few months now. The season's done. No one's really that interested in it. Everyone's sort of just going along with it for the sake of it. And this is like, I know the Spurs fans joke that this is our cup final, but it kind of feels like it is in a
It
way.
kind of does, yeah.
I'm not in any way saying that is word for word what I mean. But it's like, you know what? If we're gonna get up for this season, and this is the game that's going to give us that push to go. You know what? Let's have it. Let's just have some fun and let's go out there and beat the Spuds in their new stadium.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I feel, I know has felt a little bit flat in the last few weeks. We kind of expected to push on since Christmas, and we haven't done so since the New Year, should I say? And we've kind of the season's sort of run out on us in a way, hasn't it? We've had a couple of decent wins and a couple of shaky results. I think everything just went a bit tits up against Huddersfield when. Even though we won, everyone just went nuts about that, and the season just hasn't really got much better, really.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm in agreement with you. If there's going to be a game that we're going to look forward to, it's got to be this. It's got to be this Saturday. In the new stadium, Spurs haven't been beaten there yet, and who else to provide that win?
It would be so us, wouldn't it? It would be so us. They haven't conceded, they haven't lost,
Yeah,
and it would be. I mean, look, this. I'd take a goal at this, a nice early goal just to get the Rivers and probably tease us, then we lose 2-1 or something. But no, it's one of those. Look, you saying the Huddersfield game, I was one of the fans that left at 3-1. But there's another reason, a number of reasons why I wasn't in a good mood before the game, and it didn't help matters. And even when we won 4-3, I was still annoyed. So
yeah,
I was still like, no, don't care if we won. They took them that long to get their act together. And I've since then, I've kind of just gone, well, you know what? I'm just going to go along with the season now with no emotion, no like, come on, let's make it happen. Let's get seventh. Let's score goals. Let's do all that.
it's too
I'm
late for
just
seventh, though, isn't
I'm
it?
letting them get on with it. I'm going to a game. I'm still obviously attending games. I'm a season ticket holder. I pay my money. I'm going to get my money's worth out of it. And for me, I'm just going like, well, if the players don't care, I'm not going to give them any praise, not going to give them any stick, anything like that. Just let it get on with it. Bring this summer on. But this is a game, obviously, before the season ends, and I'm looking forward to it. It's the first game I looked forward to since I think Man United actually. I was quite up for that for some reason.
Yeah. Do you think we've actually played quite well in the last few games? I mean, we've had a few results go against us, but we didn't do too bad against Man U. We didn't really do that badly against Leicester. We were unlucky. If we'd have got a few ref decisions going our way, we would have been 5 points better off than we currently are. But our football, I think the last couple of games has been a bit more decent.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I must admit, I kind of expected the Chelsea game to go the way it did.
Yeah,
And if it hadn't
yeah,
been for Hazard being so on fire, we might have even got a draw out of that the way it was
yeah.
going. He was a spot that they needed. Man United, I was very surprised at the standard that we were playing at. We kept going right until the final whistle, which is exactly what we are. All we ask of the players, just ask them that we don't expect to win every game. Just give it your all. But that said, Man United were pretty poor that day as well. And
Yeah.
without the two penalties, they didn't look like scoring, to be fair. So I was just unlucky on that part. And then the Leicester game, I'll be honest with you, I know it's maybe a bit of an excuse to use, but it was kind of a nice day and a nice vibe. And I think that it wasn't, I didn't. I thought, well, we've played against Chelsea and Man United, and we normally get up for the top six, top four games anyway. So this is the test. We're going to go. Oh, it's only Leicester. They're mid-table like us. We don't really need to turn up and all the rest of it. But we did, and for me, we played as well as probably Leicester did as well, because Leicester weren't particularly poor
They,
that day.
they weren't poor, but I think we were better than them.
We're
I
unlucky not to
think,
win, considering
yeah,
the fact that we had another goal chalked off for offside when it
when it
apparently
was
wasn't.
clearly on.
So
Yeah, but it's seeing the game through to the end, isn't it? Really, we keep losing goals in the last few minutes of the game, which is a real shame. That was a bit of it was a bit gutting. It would have been, yeah, you're right. It was a beautiful day. Everyone was up for it. It was quite a lot of banter going on, quite a lot of drinking going on as well, and I think it would have been the icing on the cake if we'd have just won it. And I think people, but like you said, we played all right, so the fans were not that pissed off. I think if we'd have played shit and drawn, the fans would have gone, here we go again. But because we actually played quite decently, I think the fans walked away thinking, well, Leicester are just one of those teams, aren't they?
it was it was a bit of a sort of. I think before that go, everyone was like, "Yeah, this is a nice, easy Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah,
Nothing really going on. We're winning the game." And then bang, the equaliser goes in. And you're like, "Oh well, this is West Ham
yeah,
season all over, where the
yeah.
concentration goes or whatever." I mean, it was just one of them where it was like it was a sucker punch, and you sort of leaving the ground. You weren't pissed off, but you were like, "Oh
There
really?"
you go.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. So on to Saturday then. Spurs, they're an informed team, aren't they? They're sitting third in the league.
unfortunately.
Um, unfortunately, everyone would have thought that now Kane's out injured that they might start faltering, but then they got players who are replacing him quite well. Uh, Obviously, they've got players like Son, who's just been superb.
Mm,
Moura's come in. He scored 10 goals this season, Moura, and that's
yeah.
been mainly off the bench. And then, of course, you've got Ericsson and Ali. And, they've got a plethora of players that we, could sort of turn it on against us. What do you think of the Spurs team?
Well, it's funny you say that Kane's out. Everyone think they'd be faulted, but he's been out before this season as well, and they seem to play just as well, if not better.
Yeah,
And there was quite a few pundits were saying, well, Moura sort of steps up, Son steps up as a sort of like a false number nine, if you get what I mean. They're not all out and out strikers, but they play that role pretty well. And Llorente obviously pops up being a target man with the odd goal here and there.
yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't seem to affect them as much as the league probably thinks it would. And the biggest thing about Tottenham and this is credit where it's due, because I'm sorry, but as much as we want to hate him, as much as we want to pour negativeness on Tottenham being rivals and that, like, you've got to give them their due. They've spent no money this summer. We've spent 100 million. They've spent nothing. They're third in the league, new stadium, all that sort of stuff, and they're still doing what they've been doing for a couple of years. So they're one of them teams. I think it's kind of like us with Arnautovic. Everyone for about last season and a half has thought, oh, Arnautovic is their main man. Without him, they can't play at all. Well, he's played a few times this season. We've played, this season without him at times,
And
and
played better.
we've looked better. And
Yeah,
I think it's just one of
agreed.
those things where you can put so much faith in that target man. I mean, obviously, no, Kane and Arnautovic is different situations, different players, and what have you. But for me, Pochettino is a really, really good manager, and I
He's an
think he's
astute
proved
manager,
it that
isn't he? Yeah.
he can still get that team up. By playing players that aren't particularly that great and still get the best out of them, playing youth players, getting the best out of them. And I'm a huge fan of Pellegrini. I think he's a really, really good manager. He's done really, really well this year. But you've only got to look at what the likes of Pochettino has been able to achieve. Yes, he's got better players on paper, and they've been investing for a number of years anyway, regardless of this season, the season before. But Pellegrini's still got a team there which has survived relegation a couple of years, and
Yeah.
plus players like Anderson that he's signed as well. And we know better really than we have been the last couple of seasons ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, isn't it? Because yeah, you look at Spurs, and I agree with you. All this sort of the rivalry that we're meant to have with them, but we can't. We've got to look over and sort of kind of admire what they've done.
Through gritted teeth. Through
It,
gritted
with
teeth.
through
It's not
through
happy to
through
admire
gritted
him.
teeth, absolutely. But they've got a stadium that we would die for.
Mm.
Well, let's see on Saturday. Let's see how good the
Well,
bit how
can
quickly
I,
the
can I, while you're saying that, right? They've got a stadium, but we were promised when we left Upton Park,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
haven't got. So unfortunately, Tottenham delivered on their promise, probably even more than they even said they would. and we had the Olympic Stadium ran down our throats and didn't get it. So
Yeah.
I'm not letting the ball get away with that one either. I just
No,
want to get
no,
that in
no. I
there
agree.
just
I
while
still
it's
think
there.
there's a lot we can do with our stadium, but no,
Oh
I
yeah,
agree.
no doubt.
You know, I don't. I think if the Tottenham Stadium is anything that people say it is, then it looks like they've done well with that. And then the team itself, yeah, it's interesting. You said they didn't buy anyone, but it shows the strength in depth that they already had. You know, which is where we need to get to. And you're right. You know, Tottenham ain't been fighting relegation battles for the last, for well, I don't know when the last time they ever did. Whereas we have, and we've been sort of hit by that. And it's getting a mindset, isn't it? You know, you're right about Pochettino. He's got Tottenham playing, and he's done to Tottenham what Pellegrini wants to do with West Ham, I reckon.
Yeah.
You know, have that winning mindset. And I think I think we're all a bit too excited when we spent 100 million, thinking that we were going to finish really well. But it kind of shows what 100 million buys you, which is not a lot. And I think it'll be the whole 3 seasons before Pellegrini sort of sees what West Ham can do with further investment.
Well, will the club be that patient? That's the thing.
Got to
saying
be,
3 seasons. Will the fans be that patient? Will the players be that patient?
Good point. I think the fans will be less patient than the club itself.
Every right to as well.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting. So we got Kane out. Apparently they got a few late fitness tests with Dele Alli, Danny Rose, who will probably get through. They've had a couple of knocks, but they'll be there, won't they?
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to a Spurs workmate of mine, and he was saying that jokingly, but then half sort of seriously. Well, we're not going to pay our full strength team out anyway, so he's already getting his excuses in.
I almost used the C word, but given that this is going to go out on YouTube, I'd rather not use the C word.
Oh, don't start being all nice now, nicely. It's like national TV, but you get bleeped out and told off. This is YouTube. This is how it goes. But I know what you're normally.
Well, he's a cunt for saying that. There you go. Yeah. Do you reckon they? I mean, I know they got the I don't know when their semi-final is in the Champions League. It ain't next week, is it? I don't think.
It is.
You don't think that they'll be? Yeah, you don't think they'll be actually not taken as seriously by putting out a slightly weaker team?
No, there's look.
Or that's just bad.
The thing is, right, is Tottenham and mainly Pochettino. He's not us. He's not us where we think that because we're not playing a top 4 team, let's go through the motions and let's play to a lesser standard, thinking we'll just get over the line. Tottenham play every team like they're Man City. I don't care what anyone says. The way they
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's that consistency and it's that mentality as well. And unfortunately, Pellegrini, he might want to get that into them, but he ain't into the players yet, quite visibly. But Tottenham are still fighting for top 4.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of those things where we could be going, oh, what we trying to fight for? We're going to beat Tottenham and try and get 7th, are we? But half of West Ham fans want to go just to stop getting Tottenham anywhere. I mean, when we put it this way, right? The year we moved into the Olympic Stadium, we beat them 1-0. Lanzini scored. The roof went off. When the whole time, all we wanted to do was stop them with beating Leicester to the title. This is us with a chance now. And it sounds kind of pathetic because you're going, this is our chance to stop getting top 4. But it is because of the arrivals.
It is our chance. It is, yeah.
I checked the stats earlier on. I think they're 4 points. 4 points from not being in the top 4. I think it's not too sure what it was.
So if they lose this and then the other teams come up behind them,
we went Tottenham last season under Moyes. Very underwhelming performance, really, for what we were going there for. Obiang scored a screamer. Spurs were on their toes, got a brilliant goal from Son, but we drew on all of them. We didn't look out of sorts. We looked right up for it. This is a London derby, and this is against Tottenham. And I was looking at the head-to-heads over the last few years earlier. They've never battered us. They haven't battered us for quite a few years.
That's a really good point.
2-1,
3-1. It's always been close game. In fact, I think the last time where we battered them at home, at their ground, was when Ravel scored that wonderful solo goal. We won 3-0. Yeah, what a goal. But you're absolutely right. Since then, the games have been quite close. So I think there might, I can't remember when, there might have been a 4-0 or 4-1 in there. But that
I think
aside,
that was last season. I remember that one because Lanzini scored right at the end. We were
yeah,
4-0 down. That was our last season of the bowling, and yeah, we beat them 1-0 at our place,
we
and then
beat
we
them
lost
1-0 at
one.
our place under the lights. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. I think we do give them a good run for their money. In fact, we know when you speak to Spurs fans, they get quite nervous about West Ham because they don't know what sort of West Ham team are going to turn up because
And
they know
then
we
we
can
don't know
turn
the
them up.
way.
We're
The way.
but nor do we. That is true. But there's a stat here: Spurs haven't done the double over us in the league since 2012-13. So they haven't beaten us home and away since 2012-13. So that's quite a long time. So they've beaten us already once this season. So we need to keep that stat going and get a result
Yeah.
of them this Saturday. So who are your danger men? I mean, we've mentioned them already, but there's quite a few to mention.
Yeah, no, it's strange because I personally think that I'm not talking danger, man. I'm talking right. Well, for me, the goalkeeper, Lloris, has either a mistake in him, or if you put enough pressure on him, he can make a mistake or he can let a goal in. Their defence seems pretty tight knit,
Yeah,
so no worry about them. But like we said earlier, Son, if you give him the time of day, he'll punish you. So we've
yeah,
got to make sure that
yeah,
we're man marking him more as quick as anything, so we'll get through. Dele Alli's wanting him to be that creative spark because they've got players all over the pitch, but if it was Kane, I think I'd probably say him because he's Mr. Man, he's Mr. Target Man up top for them. But with all these sort of games, it's I don't look at their particular danger. Obviously, if someone gets on the ball, you go, "Oh, get into him, tackle him, mark him, don't get him, get past you."
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
for me, it becomes they're such a good team. It's not even about individual players. I mean, once Kane went off, everyone's like, "Oh, their main striker, he's off, he's injured." But like we said earlier, you know, they just seem to regroup. They just seem to have a plan B, C, and D, you name it, and go on.
yeah.
So for me, it's every single player that they've got apart from maybe Danny Rose, 'cause I thought he was shit the other night. Yeah, no,
But
it's
there's a
great.
possible weakness. There's a possible weakness depending on who we play. I'd like to actually see Antonio play and give Danny Rose a run for his money.
Yeah.
Because I reckon he can outmuscle him.
Well,
And
Snodgrass is apparently suspended for this game, so it means
That's
that we
right.
know we won't have him on the wing or in the
Yeah,
centre. So I know that Perez come on and play really well, but I'm not sure he's good enough to start or would have that impact when starting. Maybe if we're pushing the game in the second half or something. But I'd like to see Antonio go up top. I think he'd give their
yeah,
defenders something to think about. It'd be a target man if we needed to put the ball up quickly, a bit of a direct ball. He'd come back, he'd work hard, he'd give the wingers license to have someone to support him. He's played there once for us before. I'm not too sure
yeah.
when it
He
was.
did that. He did that a few seasons back as well, didn't he? He sort of went
Yeah,
up top. But if we did that, I mean, apparently we've got. We'll go on to West Ham then. Apparently we've got Hernandez, Creswell, Lanzini all having fitness tests. I can't see Lanzini making it. I think
no,
it'll be a bit of a surprise. But you're right. Snodgrass, from what I understand, should be suspended.
mm,
And but then and Nasri's still out. So our creativity's taken a bit of a knock. Wiltshire's back, but I can't see him starting. But if Fernandez and Arnautovic are both fit, would you still play Antonio ahead of them up front, or would you still stick him out wide?
right. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly give my opinion on Arnautovic because personally for me, I don't want to see him in a West Ham shirt again, and it's not half of it is not
Agreed.
down to the fact that look, just very quick on this right. This whole saga with Van Outovich, I haven't had a say on it since it all come out. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done these videos. Actually, I haven't been on Bernard's YouTube channel for a little while. But part of me looks at him and goes, right, do you know what? You're 30 years old. You reckon you've got a dodgy knee. You want your last payday in China. I respect it from a professional point of view. You look at it as a footballer, you're thinking in the back of your mind, if you think your knee's going, you ain't going to last very long. You're going to want to go out there and get as much as you can to your career ends. And that's it. That's fine. That's done. But then there's the West Ham fan part of me. He goes, you know what? If you don't want to play for West Ham, then fuck off. I don't want
Yeah,
to see it. I don't care about how. I don't
yeah.
care how much business wise you're thinking about it for your family's sake. All that lovely, lovely. But that's you. Go over there. See you later. Have
Yeah.
fun. Don't
Do
want to
you
know
think
anymore.
do you think we should have taken the money in at Christmas? In the January, sorry. Do you think we should have just got rid of him then?
I think massive part of me went, yeah, just take any money that's because once you don't want to play for West Ham, for me, you're not coming back. Mentally,
Yeah,
you won't come back from that anyway.
I
So
agree.
you
Yeah,
just take whatever you can get for in the highest bid. And I respected West Ham at the time for holding out because you know what, he was still under contract for a lot of money and whatever. And then we stupidly gave him another contract after we realised he wasn't going to go anyway. But I would have wanted the right amount of money for him. But after a while, it gets to the point you're thinking, well, hold on, it's January 31st and he's still here. So yeah, get rid of it at the time. But anyway, he's still here. We're getting on with it. He's still playing for whatever reason. He's not completely injured as far as I know till the end of the season. He's still around. But I think what it is with Arnautovic is that he's lost whatever he had.
yeah,
Even if he wants to get it back, even if he wants to be the man again, playing well, scoring goals, he doesn't seem like he's physically capable.
yeah,
To me now, he looks like Andy Carroll has looked this season,
yeah.
where he's just even if he wanted to be good in the air and good to winning stuff, he can't do it
Yeah,
anymore for some
capable.
reason.
I was watching. I'm trying to do the votes for the West Ham Hammer of the Year,
Yeah.
best goals and all that sort of stuff. And interestingly, I was looking at earlier today. I was looking at all the West Ham goals that we scored in 2018,
Mm.
and Arnautovic's body language throughout all that time was just you know, on form. He
Mm.
was up for it. He had a smile on his face. He was strong.
Swagger. Yeah.
Swagger. Really going up into the faces of the goalies and the defenders when he was scoring. Really
Yeah.
sort of up for it. And you're absolutely right. Ever since the January transfer window, whether it be injuries or the impact it had, etc., his whole demeanour, you know, he just hasn't got that. He showed it a little bit at Chelsea, a little bit,
Mm.
for about maybe 20 odd minutes, and he kind of tried to show it, against Leicester, and a bit Man U. But it's like in the past he'll do that for 90 minutes,
Mm.
or he'll do that for 85 minutes and then get pulled off and subbed or whatever. But now he's doing it in spurts. He's doing it 5 minutes, and then you
Mm.
don't see him do it another 5 minutes, and that ain't the Arnautovic we know. And I'm in total agreement with you. I think it's as much as the squad are saying that it hasn't, they love him and they want him and all that. I reckon it's disrupted them far more than anyone would really admit in the club. And it's also interesting, you said that we played better without him. We talked about Kane and compared him to Arnautovic. Players did rise to it. Like I just keep thinking of Anderson when Arnautovic weren't playing, and Anderson became the main man.
Mm.
And was more further forward, looking for the ball more. He had that room to sort of do
Yeah.
the running that he wants in the final third of the pitch rather than from the halfway line and stuff like that. And I agree. I don't want to see him, but he is going to play on Saturday. I can't see that he won't. There's talk about him playing just off Hernandez. If Hernandez is fit.
Yeah, this is because you mentioned him playing up top with Hernandez, and look, to me, Hernandez is almost in the same boat. It seems like he's putting out excuses that like, oh, he's obviously he had some sort of ear infection or toothache or whatever it was with the picture that was posted. I'm not denying that, unless he's put his tongue against his cheek to make it look like and fight like that to wipe it up. I don't know, but I've given up now with players going, oh, this is West Ham. I want to play for West Ham. I want to achieve West Ham. They want to. It's for the money. It's their agents. It's all that.
Prove it on the
I've let all
pitch.
that go. Right.
Prove it on the pitch.
Exactly.
That's what they should be
Literally,
doing.
you're getting paid by West Ham. I don't care what you do during the week. You come to training, piss about in training, have a laugh with your mates, go for your family. That's it. Put it in for the 90 minutes at West Ham. I don't want you to come. I don't want you to come to the fans, start clapping the fans, start putting it on Instagram. Oh, this is brilliant day. Thank you for fans. Can't wait for 3 points this week. Don't worry about all that. Just do your job on the pitch. And for me, Hernandez hasn't been the worst performer in the world this year, but he has been one of not probably one of the best. And having them
Yeah,
two up front, if they are going to be up front together, they need to work fucking hard, especially
yeah,
against that Tottenham defence. So
yeah.
that's why I'm saying Antonio, because Antonio's got that thing now where he's personally for me got the swagger
He's
that
back, isn't he? He's back.
exactly he's
Yeah,
back on top form, and okay, he hasn't got the best shot in the world, but he puts himself about.
yeah,
He hit the bar against Man United away. He
yeah,
scored the header, getting in there in the box against Leicester. And if you're going to ask me about any other players, I'd do something. for me, if you're looking at attack-wise, I'd just go for it against Tottenham because he's coming to the season, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just go for it. And B, do something that Tottenham aren't expecting. Put a youth player in, put Dean Garner on the right, put something that they're going to go, oh shit, where's this come from? When we beat Spurs 3-0, when Ravel Morrison scored, if I believe right, we didn't play a striker.
Yeah, false number 9. Yeah. And I remember Allardyce got absolutely slated for it. Yeah. And the fans at the time were going, what's he doing? Playing defensively. He's always playing defensively, and his tactics actually really worked well. Because he
the Spurs defenders on the day come out and said we didn't know who to mark. We had no idea who was going forward, who wasn't.
Yeah. I agree, Luke. I think it'd be nice to see some positive changes. It'd be nice to actually really go for it on Saturday. Because Spurs have got, they've won 23 games this season. They've lost 11. They've had 13 clean sheets, but they score for fun. They've scored 65 goals. Whereas for us, we've had only 5 clean sheets. So you can guarantee that Spurs are going to score. So we're going to need to go for it. And we've got to have that attitude of, well, if you're going to score 1, we'll go and score 2, sort of.
Let me put this to you, right? I've been thinking about it for a few weeks now. Now that Balbuena's back, and no one can really decide whether they want Diop back and have the old partnership, or Bonner's working really well with, Balbuena, as you definitely think he is, just to get one over on and in the group chat, which is, I'm not going to go there. But if we've got someone like, I don't know, if we've got a defender in the ranks, a centre-back, a young centre-back coming through or something, but I'd try maybe put in 3 at the back with 2 wing-backs. It's one of them games where you just kind of think, do you know what, if we're going to go for it, let's put a load upfield and let's leave a decent rock at the back.
The interesting thing is, if you had, say, Balbuena, Diop and Ogbonna as the back 3, Fredericks and Masuaku would be perfect wing backs.
Yeah.
But it's not the style that Pellegrini. We know it's not the style that Pellegrini plays. And I just wonder if it would even cross his mind. But I do agree with you. It would be something that would throw Spurs, and it was something that they probably won't be able to handle it. And given the players around, I mean, Creswell might not make it. We have got Nasri and Lanzini, who are our flair players, are not likely to make it. So then why not hit them with the wings? Down the wings.
Just fry him a bit. Just fry him a little bit. Give him a little of a. Didn't spit that one, did you?
Yeah. But you kind of know.
I know.
Pellegrini just won't play that system. But you're absolutely right. I think it's a good shout. And why not? But it'd be interesting. But I agree with you on Antonio. Antonio should start. I think he's deserved it. And I don't know who will be lining up again with him, but Anderson will obviously be there.
Yeah, about to say Anderson. One thing, if there is any players watching this, or if there is, Pellegrini gets shown this, because obviously, we're a massive channel, and obviously all the players look at us all the time. But I'm just saying, if someone can tell Anderson not to take another fucking free kick, then that will just make my day.
Or not to knock it and then kick it, just kick it.
We've been doing it all season though. Practically a bit with Arsenal as well. Just pass it. I don't get it. And as much as I like Anderson as a player, I do find him inconsistent. And he's been in a lot of these sort of team of the weeks and team of the years for below top 6. I don't know what games people are watching, because he's scored a few good goals. He's put a few set-ups. He's played a few nice bit of play. But when you look at him, you don't go, "Oh, Anderson's got the ball, something's going to happen now," or you don't relax going, "He ain't going to lose the ball." You look at him going,
"You say that.
Is he going to do something? Is he not?"
You say that, but again, it goes back to before Christmas. He was, when he got the ball, people were excited because he started running at players, and then he stopped doing it, and he too many fuck arounds in the middle of the park trying to do flicks and passes that didn't come off, etc. But since Man United, he's been doing it again. He's back again. It's almost as if he's back again, because I think Ant went to the game, didn't he? And he was saying that every time Anderson got the ball, the crowd were excited. Yeah. Like he's going for them, he's going at them, and he did that at Leicester. He's been doing that again recently, which I think is good to see. So, but I agree with you on the free kicks. I think I think we've
Snodgrass on the pitch. Snodgrass is there for a reason. He must be looking at going, for fuck's sake. I need that one.
Yeah, I agree. So our recent form against them, the last 5 league games, we won one, lost two, drawn two, and the win was the one that we mentioned. The last win away. This is away. The last win away was the Ravel Morrison goal.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a while since we've won at their ground. So it kind of it's all the stars are aligned, aren't they?
They
Given that
are.
it's we're gonna play them this Saturday in the new stadium. It's high time we beat them, I reckon. So we'll
Well,
see.
look,
We'll see.
we were the first team to win at the Emirates, last
Yeah,
team to win at Highbury.
yeah.
So North London and milestones and trademarks and what have you, it's there to be done again. I'd take it. I'd take a 1-0. You know,
Oh,
it's at this point. I know, I'm not doing predictions yet, but just looking at it going, Zamora scored 1-0 last time, and yeah, we might do that magic back.
yeah, I agree. And to knock them off that perch would be the icing on the cake for us. Not that
But
we're
then
bitter.
no, but then knowing our luck is the fact that we'd knock them off the top four perch and they go win the Champions League anyway. So it
They
wouldn't
won't win the
fucking
Champions
yeah.
League.
I know. So, I'm swearing now.
What about our team? We've mentioned Antonio. Who else do you reckon is going to start for us?
I
What
think
would your
more or less the
lineup be?
same. I think more or less the same team as probably Leicester. To be honest
Yeah,
with you, I like I said, I'd try and throw him a bit by playing a few unexpected selections and formations and what have you. But I think we kind of know it's going to be Balbuena or Bonner and all that. I don't kind of, in a way, I wouldn't mind seeing players rush back for this game because this is the one game that I personally, as a fan, want to see us win. And I'm not really that bothered if we don't get a result against Southampton because that season's dead. This is the one game that I'd like to get a result in. So if
yeah.
Lanzini's going to come back, if Nasri's going to come back, then get him in for this game and then be
Wiltshire?
done. But that's me being very unprofessional and very almost like childish, to be honest with you. But for me, Masuaku played really well last game. I know you don't like him and whatever, but I think he played pretty well.
I'll give him
Um,
credit where credit's due. He played okay the last couple of games,
okay,
and
okay, you're gonna be that, yeah. Okay, all right. What has he got to do still? Has he got to score from 40 yards? Has he?
he's got to be
I
consistent for a
know.
whole season. That's what he's got to do.
Fair play.
But
I'll give
I'll
him
give
still
him
that
credit.
chance.
He played okay.
I
He
know.
played well. So you can see him
I tell you,
starting.
I tell you what, like I said, I'd like to see youth get a game because this is exactly the sort of game. If you're gonna make it at West Ham, if you want a chance to put yourself in West Ham folklore, a game like this is the time to do. You don't have to score, don't have to score a screamer, don't have to put anything. Just put it about, you know, do a few bits of skill, try and beat a few players. Really put some effort in, and you can make your name for yourself. So
Well,
players
we've
like
got
Dean Gunner, who for
yeah,
me haven't really set their marker yet. They've been playing here and there. They've definitely got potential, but they've not really done much yet.
yeah, yeah.
This is a perfect game to start.
And we've got another player in the youth ranks who's been there or thereabouts, is Nathan Holland. Talk an awful lot about
Exactly.
him. And he was I think he was on the bench, not for the last game, but the game before.
I think he was on
And
both. I think he was both Leicester and
oh, was
Holland.
he?
I think. I
Okay.
think he was.
And it'll
Yeah.
be really nice to, there's an awful lot of talk about him. He's meant to be really skillful, really, really pacey, and that would be, that'd be nice to see him. Even if,
Hmm.
as you say, even if they come on, for the last 10 minutes or something, would be nice to see what our future holds. Because I know we'll probably do a gift of the gab and talk about transfers and all that probably at the end of the season. But there's an awful lot of talk about maybe 3 or 4 youngsters breaking through, where Huselos and Pellegrini can save themselves million instead of going out and buy these players. They're in our under 23 squad. So
I must admit, just there was a tweet the other day I saw, which was quite true in a way. They were saying, look, we bought Balbuena for
four
for
mil.
4 million.
Yeah.
Fredericks has been on the free, and so and so and so and so was only this much man. We haven't got to go spend 70 million on every single player. And do you know what? Honestly, I get that. I understand that. I don't like the fact that we might have only 30 million to spend in the summer. I'm not giving it too much patience because obviously it's just a rumour at this point.
Yeah.
But it pees me off that, in my mind, we should have a lot more money to spend than that, just anyway. And if you wanted to, and if we didn't go out and spend it, it should be there anyway. But that's just my opinion. But if we're shrewd this summer, which I think we're going to have to be, because we can still use, we bought brought a lot of players in the summer, and they're not left the club. They're still at the club, so
Yeah.
there's obviously a chance to progress next season. But if that Hesilos is all that, that he could find a pretty penny and a decent player for it, then why not go out and try and buy a few decent players? I don't mind personally going to the Championship and buying a few decent players. There's been Maddison from Leicester. We bought Antonio from Nottingham Forest before. There's some good players out there, and obviously there's youth to come through. So this summer, I wouldn't ask them to go out and spend another 100 million, but it probably is needed. But we're not going to do that.
So long as we don't buy another Hugo, it'll be all right.
He hasn't. I'm sorry, right? But he hasn't had his chance. So who knows what he could be like if given a chance. But yeah, So the owners we've got, I don't personally think they're going to keep buying it every year. So if we're not going to go and spend that much money, we've got to be clever with the money we have got. So,
yeah, no, I agree. So bringing in youth could be a good thing. I think we're talking about signings now. I think we're going to get a few freebies and a few loan signings in the summer.
Sure.
And so long as they're decent, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But they've got to be decent. And I reckon that Pellegrini will probably spend the bulk of any transfer kitty he's got on a couple of strikers and a shit-hot midfielder, which is what I think he'll do. So he might blow whatever transfer budget we've got on 3 players, and then fill the rest of the squad up with loanees, freebies. But so long as they're decent, I don't mind a freebie if he's a decent player. It's when we get shit that that's the problem.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Hopefully he does, and it's not the end of the world if he doesn't. But let's hope they're not. Let's not do a Fulham. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, who apart from Antonio, who else do you reckon can hurt Spurs on Saturday? Who have we got? Anderson?
To be honest with you,
he'll raise his game for this one?
You have to, really. Spurs away. There's no excuses for it. But it's Antonio with the form he's on. I think he scored a few goals against Spurs over the years. Might be wrong about that. From set pieces, you've got the likes of Bonner, who can do, he scored against them in the League Cup last season. He could do the same again. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of them things. To be honest with you, I think the whole team needs to play well, and if the whole team plays well, then anyone can score. But knowing us, we'd have Anderson through 1-on-1, but then scores a goal and gets done for offside when it ain't offside. So if they go through and score as many goals as they like, they ain't gonna be given. So
true. All right. So predictions. What do you reckon?
Do you know what? Fuck it. I'd love it. I'd love it if it was. I'd love it if it was 3-0, because it'd be so West Ham to go over there when no one thinks, no one's scored against them yet, no one's won against them yet, and we've got all the players that want to go out and score. But I'm gonna say 1-0 to West Ham, because I'm just using that whole thing of no one scored, so that means 1 goal. No one's won, so that means we'll win. And then Spurs won't be able to get past us because Fabianski, the Hammer of the Year elect, my Hammer of the Year personally,
agreed.
Puts on a barnstormer, and sun goes home crying, and Pochettino's left without a top 4 place. Just beautiful.
I want to say it's a West Ham.
I haven't seen he's going to score, have I? I haven't seen he's going to score a goal. Just for you, Masuaku. Just for you.
God.
From 30 yards, like he gets bolted in the cup last season.
I'll make it even worse when Ant sees this. I'll say it's an Ogbonna header. Can you imagine?
You are naughty. You are naughty.
I don't know. I want to say a win, and I want us to win. And I reckon, despite everything, I reckon, we can pull something off. We've got it in us. We've got it in us to have a, one final push, as you said, with nothing to lose. One final push and go out and just go for it. But the players have got to be on form. We've got to have a proper functioning Arnautovic and a proper functioning Hernandez. They can't be the solo players who once were. So I'm gonna go for a win, a marginal win. I'm gonna agree with you. It's gonna be 1-0, and it'll be absolutely wonderful. And I'll be there to cheer us on.
Nice one. Them
All
tickets
right,
are like gold dusties, so I hope you do enjoy yourself over
I'll tell
there.
you what, I fucking begged for it, but I got one, so but I'm
Got
happy.
to, you got to do sometimes.
Exactly.
You can have one of them beers with the old the pourer coming from the bottom, and then you say we don't get this
Apparently,
down to London Stadium.
apparently they're not serving the away fans. I might, that's what I hear, but I don't know. I might be wrong.
No,
Might,
they're not. And immediately I just thought all the local spa shops and off licenses are going lovely. You know, all the West Ham fans in there getting pissed up before the game.
will
So you can see
be.
all the local pubs will be going, fucking hell, West Ham fans. Actually, we can make money out of them now because they're going to be wanting to come up for us for a drink.
It's going to be interesting. It's because it's going to be.
That's what I don't understand with football clubs the way they think, because surely if you're serving alcohol in the grounds, then you're going to have it. To me, to my mind, I'm thinking like, well, if you're not going to drink inside the ground, they'll drink outside the ground.
Yeah.
So that means if you're going to get in trouble, it's going to stem from outside the ground. So that means the police are going to have to get involved.
Yeah.
It's more in the public eye. So even though Daniel Levy's going, oh, we don't want any West Ham fans causing trouble in our ground, thinking, well, you can have it. Surely the old Bill going, hold on, we don't want trouble either, Dan. No easy on it, please, mate. There's only
You're
two of
right,
us in London after all.
and you know there will be a big police presence there. I'm pretty sure of it. But we'll make ourselves loud and heard, and hope we do come away smiling, and hopefully there won't be any of that, old school trouble. There shouldn't be. There's not. It's not necessary. Just go and enjoy the day.
I fully expect West Ham to sing their hearts out.
We will
drink responsibly, because it's not all about alcohol, guys, is it? We can all drink a water and a lemonade and have just as much for the fun time.
exactly.
It's harder.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
It is doable. Especially if we're 3-0 down after half an hour.
Oh, if we're 3-0 down, then god damn to think. But anyway, we're not going there. Any other bits before we go?
It probably is, but I forgot about it, to be honest with you. And if I talk anymore, I'll talk myself into thinking we're going to lose. So probably best to end it now, to be fair. Anyone that is going, have a great time. And just, do you know what? As West Ham fans, we're always best for taking a piss. I think we've got to start a song of "Fuck your stadium, we like our shithole" or something like that. Because okay, right, the London Stadium is a shithole for a lot of people, right? But it's our shithole now.
It's our shithole. Exactly.
Right? Fuck their 1 billion masterpiece. Fuck that. We're not all about that. We're about this shitty. We've got our carpet. They ain't got no fucking carpet.
Exactly.
Carpet.
And Antonio loves the new carpet, giving it a nice little brush the other day.
He's got no carpet to stroke, has he? I'll be saying to Antonio, come on, mate, try and put a celebration out of that. Go and dance around a corner flag or something. Stick up your arse.
Anyway,
yeah,
I think that's it. I think we're done. We're both predicting a 1-0 win. Let's hope we come back with the points. Cheers, Luke.
No worries, still. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Come on, your eyes. Oh, like and subscribe and all that.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Like, if you think we're talking shit, if we think we're talking proper, decent shit, etc. I'm no Ant. Really? Fuck Ant. He's shit anyway. He's a Scottish shit, so he doesn't count. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments. We promise we'll reply to the comments, and look out for more videos. Oh, and Rich did the away video, didn't he? And that went up. That went up. Or it went up before this one. So look for that as well. So cheers. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Bye.